cool. So I'm Carlos Henry. This is Sabri Thompson. I don't want to say it wrong like that. So obviously, I know you guys were talking about a lot of stuff, like you said, that you want to learn a little bit about entrepreneurship. I know you guys will learn a lot about hardships and stuff like that. That's things that we're going to talk about throughout this whole workshop as well.
Yeah, you got a whole room.
First, though, before we start anything, though, I want to ask y'all kind of about y'all goals first, though. Right? So, what's one of your goals?
To be the best version I could be.
Best version you could be. Okay, I like that. Somebody else? Who else want to volunteer? Want to tell me about their goals?
Big.
What's your goal?
To be a
Famous YouTuber? Oh yeah, I knew I've seen you before, right? So I'm playing. Wait, go ahead. What about you? What's yours?
I want to get into mechanical engineering and hopefully own a business in that field.
Own a business? Okay. Y'all got any? What's up?
I want to be a writer.
A writer?
Writer?
What kind of writer?
Like, probably making books.
Like writing books? Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah, you in the right room then. Yep. Y'all got any goals y'all want that y'all want to achieve?
Yeah,
What's up?
I want to own my own HVAC business.
Own HVAC? Okay. Listen. Y'all definitely in the right room there too as well, because this is what it's all about: setting goals, achieving those goals. You guys are gonna be learning from two entrepreneurs and stuff like that. But first, I kind of want to tell you, a little bit about our stories. I don't know if Sabri, you want to talk about yours first, just how you kind of started getting into entrepreneurship and what drove you into that.
Yeah, so as I mentioned briefly downstairs, my whole life was basketball, right? I played at the Division I level, played overseas for a short stint, but it was short-lived. I had a kid at a young age, so I knew I had to start working. So I started in the corporate world, had a really good job, and as I mentioned downstairs, I didn't really like the person I was looking at in the mirror. I felt like I was like, dang, this is it. I was giving up. I felt like I was just not living with purpose, right? So by getting myself out of that depression I was in, by getting myself back to the person I could be proud to look at in the mirror, I got into fitness and I started my fitness entrepreneurship journey where I became a personal trainer and I was helping people transform their lives like I helped transform my life at that time, right? Fitness was going really well, but still wasn't, paying the bills for me comfortably enough to leave my job. I was doing it part-time while I was working. So I found real estate. I was like, hey, I'm going to do this to try to make some extra money. And little did I know I was going to fall in love with it. So I really found out that my purpose, or something I feel my purpose is at this point in my life, is helping people, help changing their trajectory of their lives, whether it's through fitness or through home ownership. And when I had my first client, she was in her later years, had never owned a home. She was like my grandma's age at the time. And the fact that I gave her so much joy, she was crying when we were at the closing table and things of that nature. And that feeling of satisfaction I got from helping her achieve that, even though she was older, that's why I said downstairs, it's never too late. But that feeling gave me the courage to keep pushing. And I was eventually at the point where I built my team up. I could leave my job, and now I'm a full-time entrepreneur, and I'm learning each day. I feel like entrepreneurship is a very spiritual journey, very mental journey, very taxing. You're going to have a lot of turn-back moments where you feel like, hey, like the gentleman downstairs said, you may not wake up and be like, hey, did I make the right decision? Like, what did I do? I need to go back and get a job, because it's very scary. Entrepreneurship can be very volatile, but that's the best part of it, because of it's not about the end goal, it's about who you become in the process. So that's a little bit just to keep it brief.
Absolutely, man. That story was powerful. I'm gonna be honest with you. And Sabri, definitely a family friend. It's funny, I actually see him at the cookout. You know that he's like, cousin. And I'm like, oh snap. All right, so that's how I met Sabri though. Right? But before I kind of get into my story though, I gotta kind of tell you guys what's important about achieving goals, right? So I know some of y'all were saying y'all don't even know what y'all want to do. I'm big on the vehicle doesn't really matter as much, as long as it's legal or stuff like that. But it's about wanting it more than anybody else, right? So who in here likes money though? Okay. So I'm gonna give out money so y'all keep the right workshop, right? I got 20 right here. Who wants this $20? What's stopping you from getting this right now?
Not getting up.
Who wants this 20?
Me.
Look. So I'm gonna get out more money, yo. Look, I'm gonna get out more money. Yo. No, for real. Yo, and it's your job to make sure I get out here safely, all right? So I see the way he's looking at me, right? But no, so that was kind of like the thing about my entrepreneur journey, right? And me even achieving any of my goals. You gotta want it more than anybody else. Now you see how everybody in here talked about they wanted $20. Oh, I want money. Everybody raised their hand, but then nobody got up until he got up, or when you got up. Then everybody started trying to chase after their goals. That wasn't me though, right? So first of all, my name used to be Michael. So I got my name changed when I was 7 years old. I didn't know who my dad was until I was 7. I lived inside and outside of motel rooms, sleeping in my mom's car, things like that, growing up. And I wanted to play basketball, but I didn't start playing basketball I was like 14, 15 years old, so I started playing late. I was blessed to be able to play college basketball, but it was a lot going on pretty much, right? And I know a lot of people, I know you was kind of talking about some, having hardships and stuff like that. Man, listen, bro, McDonald's, that dollar menu, I mean, it's not dollar menu no more, but that dollar menu, that was powerful for me. Got $20, that was like meal for a few days. I mean, $20 ain't gonna last too long now, but going to McDonald's with my brothers, making sure my brother was okay, that was my reason why. Just making sure that my little brother, that he didn't have to go through stuff that we was going through. He didn't even realize what was going through or like anything that was happening, right? So I remember y'all was making a comment earlier, oh, you went to so many schools. It's because I didn't have no place to stay. So I was like either staying with my cousin, I would sleep in mom's car sometimes. I would literally stay at a motel. The motel right there on Newcastle Ave. We was jumping up from motel room to motel room, doing all that stuff. And I still didn't know what I wanted to be. I still had to go to school, still had to get good grades, still played basketball. People didn't even know what I was going through though. I tried to keep myself to a certain degree because I was like, you know what, they don't even know what I'm going through. But I do know one thing, I'm gonna be the greatest motivational speaker ever, right? So I started listening to like Martin Luther King speaking, Malcolm X speaking, people like that. I'm like, you know what, I can do that. I could definitely do that. I came through all this stuff. I had friends that's in the streets and stuff like that, my brothers in the streets, all that stuff. I'm looking at that and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna be a product of my environment. I'm gonna be something better. And not even bring better, but I'm gonna bring it back to my environment and teach people like, kids like you guys that you can do that too. There's so many different things you could do. I know bro back there, he said he was a barber, right? Sabri does real estate and then a personal training. Cameraman right here, there's so many different vehicles. The vehicle doesn't matter. It's just about wanting it more than anybody else. You can't let nobody else try to do it. So that's a little bit about my story, a little brief part about my story. But I do want to talk about, setting goals, right? Obviously that's the biggest thing, right? So I know you talked about being a better version of yourself. I heard some other goals, biggest YouTuber, stuff like that too as well. Mechanical engineering, HVAC company. So I like to do this exercise to kind of like, express your goals, right? So can I get another volunteer? All right. You know what? My fault, bro. I got you, bro. Because last time I did. And what's your name?
Jav.
You said what?
Jav.
Jav?
Jav.
Jav?
Jav.
Jav. Okay, my fault. It's mask, but I don't know if you get sick or not.
Tyler's on that Stanford team with me. So I just messed yeah. He Ty transferred over his sophomore year. I believe he came over and played with us. Yeah.
So, what's your goal? What's one of your goals?
I want to be a wealth manager.
Wealth management.
Nice.
Okay. That's great. That's great too as well. So, Jav, if I told you to make it to this last piece of paper right here, you'll be able to do it, right? But you only step on the paper.
Step on the paper.
Yeah, that's it. But you got to get to this one.
Yes.
All right, can you do it first? Good job. All right. Now, without hurting yourself, I know you play basketball and all that, but you think you can make it to this piece of paper right here without stepping on the floor?
No.
You can't, right? So, thank you for coming up here too as well. Look, I got $20 for you. Let's give it up for Jav. So, I know that you were talking about being the biggest YouTuber. I think I've seen these people over there talking about making it to the NBA and stuff like that. So these are supposed to represent your goals, right? This is you right now. This is you trying to make it to the NBA, right? Or trying to make it, wealth manager, HVAC, whatever it is, right? You start here first with the piece of paper on the floor, but first you got to make your high school team. But then you also got to play in college. Then you got to score a certain amount of points. And then, whatever it is, get the recruiting. And then next thing you know, you're in the NBA. But a lot of times we like to just look at our last goal like, yo, I need to make it to NBA, I need to be an HVAC manager, I need to be a YouTube person, and we get rid of all of the goals in between and try to do it. It's impossible. It's literally impossible to try to achieve these huge goals out here without even taking these little things, these little steps in between, right? You can't just make it to the NBA and you never even played on a high school team. It's impossible. You can't be the greatest YouTuber, you don't even post no videos. Or you don't even, you know what I mean? You can't do none of that. You have to figure out what your little goals are in between, and that's what's going to make you get there. So me, when I always say I'm going to be the greatest motivational speaker ever, I'm posting content every single day. I don't care if you're watching it or not, right? I'm reading 100 books a year, trying to figure out how to be a greater motivational speaker, greater speaker. I'm always reading the Bible. I keep the word with me everywhere I go. I just published my first book. You know what I mean? Whatever's getting me to that right there, to get me from this goal all the way to the end. Now, Sabri, when you were going through your entrepreneur journey, I can't say going through because we always are still going, we're always becoming, right? What was it, becoming revolutionary overachievers? Bros? Right? So when he was becoming a bro, right? what are some of the little steps that you had to take in between in order to get to where you are now, and then, you know, where you're gonna be in the future?
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and I love the analogy and the exercise because all of us want that instant gratification, right? We live in a social media society where everything is like right in your face, right in your face. If you see the biggest YouTuber posting his videos, you think like, oh, not saying you're not gonna get there, but you see it and you're like, okay, I'm gonna get there tomorrow. But we don't realize that that YouTuber posted 10 years ago. He started his journey 20 years ago, and he's just been compounding it. One book, Carlos said he reads 100 books a day. He's one of the people that actually got me into reading as well. Like I said, we're family. So I read a book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Consistency with anything you do. You know what I mean? If you want to be a YouTuber, if you want to be that HVAC tech, if you want to be a wealth manager, you have to take those steps. So to answer Carlos's question about my specific journey, first off, it started with first having the belief, having the courage to step out on faith and start what I want to do. We have a million ideas that come to us every day. Jaheed, becoming a barber. When did you realize you wanted to become a barber? I know you mentioned it downstairs.
I was 14 years old.
14 years old, right? And how old are you now?
29.
29. Now you have a successful business, you know what I mean? But it started when he was 14, but he had the courage at that young age to start. You know, he said he was nicking himself up, pushing his joint back and everything like that. I was doing that in college too, so I know what you mean. But basically having the courage to first take that step and take that leap of faith that, hey, I'm going to start this. Carlos said he posts every day. I also post a lot of content. I have a YouTube channel. I want to be one of the biggest YouTubers as well when it comes to, you know, pushing the fitness content and things like that. But I know it's not going to happen overnight. I got to post every day. Even when I'm tired, even when I'm burnt out, even when I get no views on a video. You know what I mean? It's just taking those actionable items. For me, once I believed that I could do it and I showed myself that I had the courage, like I mentioned, I left my job. But that's when the real work started. You know, going from a 9-to-5 to a full-time entrepreneur is very tough because you have to create your own structure. I went from having to be at my job at 7 a.m. And I worked in Maryland, so I used to wake up at 4:30, try to get my workout in, go to work, be there all the way until 4:30, come back home, and then do my real estate stuff on the side. Then once I left that job, boom, I'm doing entrepreneurship all day. Now I got from 7 to 4:30, I'm like, how do I structure my day? So I was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. You know what I mean? So once I defined that structure and I put a schedule in place and I time blocked my day and created that organization for my life and my businesses, that's when things really started to make sense. I started to build my team and things of that nature. But like Carlos said, in entrepreneurship, I don't have it. I'm not there yet. I'm probably right here, maybe like right here, because you know, I mean, I've been doing business. I would say real estate. I'm in my 7th year. For a fit and professional, it started in 2022, but 2024, that's when I really started to take it more serious. So I'm at the infancy stage. People look at the social media and think, oh yeah, you're doing very well, you're killing it. They don't know, you know, that I had to take losses. They don't know that I may be in the red. They don't know that I may have had 5 deals fall through, but I have to keep showing up. When I have 5 deals fall through, am I going to let that defeat me and not call clients and try to get another deal the next day? No, I have to keep showing up. I have to keep showing up for myself, my clients, my future self, my future family, everybody else that looks at me and finds some type of motivation. I remember, I told you I post fitness content, right? I remember when I was going through one of those lulls with entrepreneurship, I stopped posting for a while, stopped posting my workouts and things like that. And I literally had someone reach out to me like, bro, you good? Like, yo, I used to look forward to your workouts all the time. Like, that helped me get up when I saw your workouts. So that's when I really realized this thing called life, this journey is not just about me. It's about those that we can impact. It's about, you don't know who's watching. Y'all might have little brothers and sisters. You might have,
What separates you from your competition?
Say it again?
What separates you from your competition?
I will go back to consistency as well, and also my creativity. When it comes to social media, I really use that platform to be creative. If you look at my fitness page, I try to do really cool videos. Like I'll do, even in real estate, right? So I posted a video of one of my teammates where when I had a new listing, I got a video guy, he had us flying to the listing, right? And he put a flash effect on my other guy, he was running like Flash. So little stuff like that. When it comes to my fitness business, I try to get creative. I use content creators in my area to come up with some really cool ideas. And I don't know, I pray about ideas when I'm running in the morning or working out, and I just try to just execute on them. So I feel like execution and consistency is what separates me. Yeah, so I was about to close out anyway, but basically, y'all just stay consistent, man, and just know that, you know, my mantra for the business is, I call it embracing the journey and empowering your soul. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to go up against, but if you keep showing up, you'll eventually get to, from the start to the finish. And to be honest, there's really no finish line until our expiration is on this earth. So just keep pushing and showing up.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's definitely a big part about what he was saying, right? A lot of the work is put in the dark, right? I mean, you played basketball, right? Like, you didn't just come out there and you just start knocking down threes, right? First you had to start in front of the rim and shoot. You know, they didn't see all that work that you put in. They didn't see all that work that, you know, Kobe was putting in. They just seen, oh, that finish until, oh, he got the 5 rings. That's my favorite basketball player. So that's why I said that. So all y'all Brown people in here, I ain't trying to hear none of that. But no, but for real though, that's really what it is. A lot of that work is put in there. So a big thing about him just right now, even talking about fitness, right? I'm actually glad that he started bringing that up, and about how you don't know about the people you impact, because I have an exercise for somebody, whoever wants to volunteer. Oh, you want to? Okay, all right.
When you come up, say your name, school you come from, and what your current vision and goal is.
My name is Schneider. I'm from Cedar Rodney High School, and my goal right now is to go to college for sports management in Gaussian on the side.
Okay, all right, cool. So we're gonna do a next exercise, right? So how many push-ups do you think that you could do?
At once, I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean,
A number. If you had to give me a number, how many push-ups you think you could do?
I'd say I can't guarantee you a number, or at least
You can't guarantee me a number? All right. What about, yeah. Look. So if it's money on the line, how many you think you could do then? How many push-ups you could guarantee that you could do?
If it's money on the line,
Because there's money on the line. I'm just letting you know that right
20,
here.
man. Give me 20.
You get 20?
15. You got 15.
yeah, I already got it.
Well, so he said 15, right? You got 15? So if you do 20, I'm going to give you $20.
Right.
All right? But
Strong joint.
But while he's doing these though, right? Can we cheer him on now? What was your name was?
Schneider.
Can't we cheer Snyder on? Like, he can't do this by himself.
Let's go.
He can't do this by himself. He can't do this by himself. He can't do this by himself. Give us 20, bro. Give us 20. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Come on, cheer him on. Come on, cheer him on. 19, 20. Oh, look. Keep going. Don't stop. There you go. 24, 25, 26. Yeah. Great job, Steve. Yo, thank you for coming up here and helping
Y'all
us.
see what he did?
Yeah.
He came down with him. Sometimes you need a brother. Me and Carlos were talking earlier. About how tough it is to continue posting content. It can be very defeated. I said, hey, if you ever need it, sometimes I may need that motivation, sometimes he may need it. Sometimes you may need somebody to come down and get in the trenches with you. It's all about who you surround yourself with. Because you tell me who your 5 friends are, I'll tell you the trajectory of your life. All right, so I appreciate you doing that. That was a great lesson.
No, absolutely. There's a saying, right? You can move fast alone, but you move further together, right? Snyder only took, he didn't even know how many push-ups he could do. My man's back there, I'm sorry, what's your name, bro? Jaheed told, yo, you know you got 15, bro. You like, yeah, I got 15, so you know I could do that. Because he instilled that confidence in him. I'm like, you know what, now forget 15, bro, I want you to do 20. But then Snyder ended up doing, what was that, 26?
25.
Yeah.
25? Ended up doing 25 pushes. He thought he didn't even know how many pushes he could do. But when you have someone else on your team, you can only get so far by yourself. But then when you had someone else coming down here doing push-ups with him, when you had someone else instilling confidence in him, with Snyder, that made him start to believe in himself, right? I want you to believe in yourself, with, you know, obviously, regardless, but there's gonna be times when you don't, right? Like me and Sabrina was talking about, man, posted content all the time, so you get 0 views, you like, ah, man, all right, I don't know how much longer I can do this, right? But then you're like, nah, I'm gonna just do it though. But then, you know, you always get someone, just now we was down there stairs talking, he's like, yeah, I'm starting to read books now, because I was watching your page, and I remember you telling me, yo, read, you know, these 3 books at a time. I'm like, dang, I didn't know that I had that impact.
You don't know who's listening.
You don't know who's watching, you don't know who's listening, you don't know who needs that, but then them telling you that, it's like, you know what, that just instilled the confidence in me now to try even harder, go even further, right? So when you're making your goals, when you're actually filling out your goals and deciding what you want to do, just remember, yo, find a friend, maybe get them to push you, get an accountability partner, you know what I mean? Don't remember someone's out there watching you, someone's out there looking, someone's out there trying to see what else you can do too as well. Now, I also know, I don't know if they said we supposed to have some sheets or something like that to fill out. I don't think they gave us any. Dang, all right. Well, shoot, I guess I'm just asking y'all that, right?
Yeah.
So, I want y'all to think about this question, right? And before you answer, what defines success for you, right? So, who wants to share first? Like, what does success look like to you? What you got, bro?
Being able to take care of everybody I know.
Being able to take care of everybody you know. I love that answer.
Impact.
Impact, okay.
Stay consistent with yourself and see what you can do, and then always find others to help you, and always have goals in mind, no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
Success to me is bringing other people up with me as my journey in life and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I love that. Y'all got anything that you what's success about you? Take care of your family, right? That's a really big thing. I mean, how many of us come from like a two-parent household? All right, single-parent household, right? So, I mean, I would raise my hand, but like I said, I didn't have my mom or dad like that. So it was like, I was more like a no-parent household. I was really just taking care of myself. My sister was my mom most of the time anyway, but taking care of your family is so important, right? Giving back. This is why we do things like this. This is why we come to places like this too as well, because you also want to have that impact that she was talking about. You want to be able to take care of your family. You want to give back to your environment, right? It takes a village to raise a kid. It says it right here though in this, right? It says it right here. So these are just some of the things that right now that we have for achieving your goal. And I know I didn't get everybody's goal. I remember you talk about you too. What did you say you wanted your goal to be, bro?
I didn't really get one.
You ain't get one? You don't got no goal? And
I'm still thinking about one. I mean, like, being like Mr. Beast, like, he started off, like, when his mom, like, everybody was like, mainly his mom, like, his mom was doubting him, but he believed in himself. And he got to, let's just say, like, a poor person to a billionaire. And then he's going around, like, helping people, he, like, do videos, he, like, gives people money, like, do like, challenges.
yeah, he's giving out them Teslas. I be watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said something
That
important.
was one would be
You said something important. What was your name again?
David.
David? All right. You said something very important. You said Mr. Beast, his parents didn't really believe in him at first.
Yeah, but he believed in himself.
That's very important, especially when we're talking about entrepreneurship, or it doesn't have to be just entrepreneurship, it can be anything. You have to mentally get ready for it. If you're doing something that's outside of the norm, everyone around you is not going to understand your vision. Everyone's not going to understand. People may be on the outside looking at Carlos like, man, he posting all these videos. He talking about he's going to be the greatest motivational speaker. They don't understand that he already sees this vision for himself. Everyone won't see your vision, everyone won't believe it the way that you do. But don't let that stop you, especially, I'm telling you that now because it's tough when you're hearing from your loved ones. When I told my mom and my family I was about to leave my 6-figure job to go into entrepreneurship full time, they're like, what are you doing? You're leaving this pension job. Like, and in your back of your head, you're looking like, hey, what am I doing? You know what I mean? You might, in entrepreneurship, I remember I had a turn back moment where I was maybe 3 years in the business, and I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, deals were falling through. I was just like, man, like this is too volatile for me. And I got so scared, I started telling my family and things like that, I'm scared. And they were like, hey, yeah, like, I mean, you can always go back and get a job. I let that fear creep into my mind, in between my ears. When you let that get inside, now it's spiraling. And you have to work to rewire that. I actually started applying for government contractor jobs because I was scared. And I call it my turn back moment because I got hired. I went back to the job site. I'm gonna answer your question in a second. I went to the job site on my first day. Literally, I used to write on my planner every day when I was trying to leave my job, escape the cube, escape the cube. That was my mantra, escape the cube. I didn't want to work in a cubicle. And on that day that I went back, mind you, my business was fine. I wasn't in debt and things like that. I'm doing well with real estate, but I let that fear get me so scared that I think I gotta go get another job just to have a safety net, a plan B. I'm there looking at the cubicles around, waiting for them to call my name to get my badge and access card, and I'm like, bro, didn't you tell yourself you wanted to escape this? You escaped it, and now you're trying to get back in the cage. And in our community, it's very easy to go back into that because we don't think that we're deserving of the life that we're setting out for ourselves. When you have big dreams, sometimes you may scare yourself out of it because you don't think that you can get there. That's where I said that belief is very important. I walked out of there after that. I came to that realization. I walked out. I drove down. It was on Route 40 because it was in Maryland. I'm driving down. I'm making U-turns like, let me go back. Let me go back. I made like 3 U-turns before just saying, F it, I'm going home. And I ain't go back and do that job. 2 months later, I had 2 agents reach out to me and wanted to join my team before I had a team. And now I have 6 agents working under me. So if I would have went back to that job, imagine what would have happened. I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't have started my own fitness business. I wouldn't have started my own activewear business that's growing every day. I wouldn't have my YouTube channel, like you said, posting really dope videos and going on fitness challenges. You know what I mean? So you just sparked that. I didn't mean to go off a tangent and things like that, but.
You got a question too, bro?
First of all, your mantra pretty hard. I got one myself, but
What's your mantra? Mhm.
Two, what stopped, like, how did you shut down the fear? Like, how you get over the fear factor?
Prayer, that day when I was very scared, I was, like I said, when I was making those U-turns, I said, God, please just give me an answer. Like I was saying it out loud in the car. I said, God, please give me an answer. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And when I made that third U-turn, I just felt like God told me, and I just felt that courage within me. I knew I always had the courage, but I just had that small glimpse of letting it get in my mind. So I really just now to avoid that, because I do get scared sometimes. Like I wake up every day like, now I'm a leader, I got other people leaving their jobs and things like that on my real estate side, and like it's a lot of pressure. Before I can even get to that, I go into prayer real quick. Working out is a very good thing, so my morning routine, every day when I work out, I'm pushing myself through adversity before I start the day. So that way, no matter what happens, I'm kind of already like, man, I already got my win out today. So just rewiring my subconscious, reading more, reading books, listening to motivational podcasts, just always making sure that my mind is wired for success. Making sure I'm being cognizant on my doom scrolling, making sure I'm not letting nonsense in. You know what I mean? Because if I'm in control of this, then I'm in control of the outcome.
Absolutely. But I know we had to start heading down there, around 12 or something. But I did want to open it up for like any questions that anybody had for Sabri, for myself. Maybe it's just something you want to say, you want to get off your chest with.
So when you made your book,
Mm-hmm.
like what made you think like, did you ever have like somebody in your ear was telling you like you should not do this, or like wasn't confident?
To be honest, when I wrote my book, I never really had nobody in my ear telling me I didn't have to, but I didn't really have anybody in my ear telling me you should do it, right? Ever since I was always saying like, yo, I'm gonna write my own book. But like even elementary school, people just laugh at me like, all right. But first they laugh at you, then they ridicule you, and then they're like, you know what, I know him. Oh, I know you. Oh, Carlos, yo, remember? So when I wrote my book, I actually wrote pretty much majority of it. I just went like one night, same thing. I was at my old job. I'm just like, yo, I can't keep doing this. Waking up every morning, I'm okay with someone telling me, what to do and stuff, because obviously you got to be coachable, but just the culture. I was like, you know what, this is not a culture that I would want my team to go through. It's not a culture that I want anybody to go through. So I said, just F this. Quit the job, started typing the book all crazy, and then I just finished the majority of it literally in like one night. Went back through, obviously had to edit it and everything, but I just went and just knocked it out. But I didn't have nobody telling me not to do it, but I didn't have no support either. It was kind of like I was just on my own, so I just had to thug it out.
This is for both of you guys. Like when you was younger, was this your dream or your passion that you wanted to do when you're standing right now?
For me, I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing now. I wanted to be, playing in the NBA or overseas. Basketball was my trajectory, my focus. So I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so I grew up in West Side Wilmington, and then I would live in like North Philly a little bit too as well. All we knew was sports too. Like I thought basketball was it, and then to be honest with you, I didn't even know what an entrepreneur was until I was 18 years old. And then I went to a PAL. I went to Newcastle PAL. And then somebody was like, yeah, read this book. And then, obviously they introduced this book to me first. It was like, yo, read this book. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not really a religious person or anything like that, or I wasn't before. And then also, too, they gave me another book, too. It was like my first entrepreneur book that I ever read. It's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I didn't understand all the stuff in there about real estate and all that, but what I really paid attention to was the language, right? Like, people, when you speak in things and when you speak certain things into existence, you rewire your brain in a certain way, right? So I'm just giving you an exercise real quick, right? I still got another 20. So if anybody want to volunteer real quick. All right, look, I got you. Hey, he did first. You don't gotta get up, though. I mean, if you want to, yeah, stand there, right? So
We'll do another one. I'll give you 20.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to look around the room and find everything that's blue. Okay, you ready? All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, close your eyes. Now, name something that was red. But you see, but look,
that poster over there.
Look, there's a lot of posters. But look, I get your idea, though, right? So here, I'll give you 20 just for coming up here and volunteering and stuff like that. Oh, dang, I only got 15. You get the 15?
Yeah, I'll take the 15.
You take the 15 here, bro. Look, you good.
Lucky.
Yeah, look, so no more cash, all right? But that's supposed to go to show this, right? When you have a language, when you speak in a language like, yo, I can't do this, or oh, it's too many people doing this, or it's not a business for this, or you let people get in your head and stuff, your brain starts to think stuff like that, right? So you start to look at all the things that are blue or all the things that are bad. But then now when an opportunity comes in front of you, like, hey, listen, yo, you should collab with me, you're not gonna be thinking in the right mindset of like, oh yeah, no, I can do this, I can do that, because now your mindset's already messed up. You rewired your brain to think about something bad now. Like you think you just can't do it now. So I took all that language out, like saying you can't. Saying, I always say, oh, I can't afford that. I would be like, how do I afford that? How do I do this? How do I do that? I start asking myself the right questions, because that leads to the right answers and different actions too as well. My fault. Any more questions too as well? I know, my fault, he had his hand raised up there.
Why did, this question for both of you, what made you guys want to go down the path to like be what you guys are now?
I mentioned it a little bit. For me, I had my son at a young age. I was playing basketball all the way in Louisiana to Northwestern State, and I had him when I was 19, and I was super scared, and that was kind of where my entrepreneurship journey started. I told you, I used to cut hair in college because I had to find money to take care of my son, be a Division I basketball player, keep my grades up, and my performance on the court. And that's kind of where my entrepreneurship spirit started. And after transitioning out of basketball after college, I just knew that I had to find a purpose. My son was always my biggest why. He still is my why. So if I could just simplify it, it was just because I knew I wanted to have a better life, a better lifestyle, not be a slave to the clock, not be a slave to the 9-to-5 system. And I've just been trying to escape that cube, like I mentioned.
Yeah, for me though, that's a really good reason. I don't think I can top that. But no, I'm playing. For me, I really feel like I didn't have a choice though, right? Like I said, I went to college actually, so I went to Delaware State University after I played JUCO, and I went there because that was my first time having a bed to sleep on, right? Like, or a room. Like I never had no room. I had no, even my dad had a room with my little brother, we didn't even have no door on there. We had no heat, no hot water, taking cold water. There'll be showers in the winter, bro. You don't know how cold that is. Like it's freezing. No shower head too. So like times when I would be like with my dad for a little bit. So I feel like I really had no choice. And then as I was graduating college, I was like, dang, yo, I don't know what I'm about to do. I don't even know where I'm about to go. So that's when I just made me start, you know what, reading these books, posting little content. And people are like, oh, that content, I like that. Yo, I see you, Lord. I'm like, oh, you see me? All right, bet. You feel me? So then that's why I started going in there a little bit more and started posting more and more content, because it was like I had no choice. But then when I seen that people were starting to react to it, that's what just kept me going too. I know you had a question too.
What was one of the books that you was reading for entrepreneurship?
So the first one that I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was another one. It was, you know, this might sound a little crazy. I just talked about, you know, the Bible a lot, but it was something that was like called Conversation like with the Devil or something. Mm-hmm. It was by the guy who made Think and Grow Rich. I forgot. Napoleon Hill too as well. That was one of those two were like, them ones got me like, I was like, oh, all right, this is what started getting me into reading and really like locking in. You got a question?
So I got a question for both of you. So if where you're at right now wasn't an option, what would have been your second option?
My second option. If I wasn't doing what I was doing now, I'm gonna put basketball aside because I keep saying that. That's a good question. If I wasn't doing what I was doing now, what would be a second option? I'm really into, recently I've been into stocks and things like that. I do long-term investing, but I probably would, just with technology now, really educate myself on day trading and things of that nature, getting into to that market. I think that would be. Say it again.
You know how to option trade?
I do. I'm in a few option positions. Yeah. But I'm not. But day trading, you gotta. I don't got time for that. I ain't trying to lose money, so very risk averse. But I am in a couple options. Yeah.
To be honest, I don't even know, bro. There was no, what does it say, don't have a plan B to distract you from plan A? That was me. I'm like, yo, I'm doing this. So it's either I'm gonna make it or I'm gonna make it. That's really all it is. So I really don't have no idea. I do know that, like, you know, my father-in-law, he's in real estate, so that probably, you know what I mean? He probably just be like, yo, come, you know, try this out. But nah, really, honestly, bro, it's always just tunnel vision for me. Do we have any more questions?
This is another question for both of you. If you guys were able to have like a conversation with your past self, like what would you tell them?
That's a great question, yo. That's a good question.
You go first.
What's your name again, man?
Zaire.
Zaire. That's a great question. I love questions like that because it really makes you go back and reflect. I think I said it a little bit downstairs. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself that it's gonna all be all right. And just knowing that, hey, you're gonna go through something. I think one of the gentlemen downstairs shared that as well. You're all gonna go through something, right? I didn't know all the different lessons that I was gonna go through. They're not mistakes. Like I said, having my son at a young age, I don't look at that as a mistake. I look at that as a turning point in my life. It was another chapter that I had to turn. So if I could simplify everything I'm saying right now, I'm kind of thinking out loud, I would basically just tell myself that, hey, this is just another stepping stone, just another chapter in your journey, and the story is just being written, and I'm in control of the story.
Yeah, if I had to talk to my younger self, I would just tell them to just keep God first, right? I felt like what started to actually take my business and like my speaking to the next level was when I started introducing, God into my business. I'm seeing so many entrepreneurs, speakers and stuff, and I'm like, what's like separating them from me? Obviously, they got more money, they got all the equipment and stuff, but then a lot of them just kept talking about just God, God, God. And I actually started going to church right next door to TRC, so I mean, y'all want to come check
Resurrection Center?
Yeah, Resurrection Center right there, so y'all want to come over there, I definitely invite anybody to do it, but I would just tell them, honestly, just keep God first, keep going, and it's going to get better, but everything has to get worse before it gets better, because diamonds are made under pressure, so. Do we have any more questions? Oh, okay.
Alright, so like, in the past, right, wasn't there like any fear of quitting at all, and for the future, right? So what would be the best option for you if your mom would be like, I don't want to keep doing this no more, this is getting so hard, or anything like that for both of you?
Okay. First, I got this turtleneck on and stuff. I actually got it tattooed on me, right? Fear and God don't occupy the same space. So whenever I feel like I'm afraid, I just like go right into my Bible. That's one thing for that. And then you use a word another one I took out of my vocabulary. It's called if. You know what I mean? If I do this, or if I don't say that, I say when I do that. So when I get there, I'm gonna do that. So that's another thing. I don't even believe in that word, right? I don't even believe in, if. I don't believe in, obviously depression is a real thing and stuff, people go through it, but I don't even say words like that. I don't even believe in those things because it's like, I know God got me, right? So whenever I feel like I'm afraid or anything like that, I just get back into that word and, whatever happens, happens, you know what I mean? And that's really my mantra for everything. And actually been a mantra I just took a trip back from Houston, and y'all seen what these planes, what's been going on with these planes. My friends over here sweating like, oh my God, bro, we got to check. I'm like, nah, bro, we gonna be good, but we gonna be cool. We gonna make it though.
I'll just piggyback on what you're saying as well. It's definitely already written. Control what you can control. If you try to worry too much about, like you say, you shouldn't worry, because at the end of the day, what's going to be is going to be. I always tell my clients that, right? Real estate is very competitive for home buyers, right? And if you lose out on the offer because someone else outbid them, that's really the biggest job, keeping my clients encouraged. And I always tell my clients, hey, if it's for you, it's going to be for you. And it really is that. I've literally had clients get a home in a bidding war that weren't the highest offer because that home was for them. You know what I'm saying? And I love what Carlos said earlier and just now about what he says. Those words, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. And that's such a fact. And I said it a little bit earlier as well, just having that belief and rewiring your subconscious. It's called the RAS, the Reticular Activating System. I'm not sure if any of you guys are driving. I know some of you guys are driving. If you ever had a car, you got a new car, and you keep seeing that car, or a car that's in your mind, you keep seeing it on the road every day, that's your reticular activating system because your mind is already set on that. So instead of having your mind set on the negative things, talking about if and, oh, I don't know if this is going to work for me, your mind is going to look for failure. But if you think about success, you ever heard people talking about manifesting and speaking things into existence? That's a real thing. I vlog on YouTube, right? And I look back on one of my vlogs from 2020, and I remember I said exactly what I was doing one day when I was just watching back. I'm just like, yo, who would have thought? I mean, of course I thought that because I said it, but it's like you don't know because you're just every day in the mix. And then you finally wake up like, dang, I'm really living the life I said I was gonna live. Because you can will yourself to success, just like you can will yourself to failure. All right, so it goes hand in hand. It's very simple, but it's very profound.
That's actually really powerful. That's actually the exercise we were just doing when I was like, look around the room and see what's blue. Now close your eyes and name what's red. Your mind was only focused on what was the blue. And another thing that Sabri really said that was powerful, you can will your way to success. I was saying I'm the greatest motivational speaker ever before I even spoke anywhere. I just kept saying it, right? I just kept saying it. And then someone was like, all right, here's a gig for you to speak at. And I'm like, oh, all right, bet. You feel me? I guess I'll just freestyle it, you know what I mean? So I just God's gonna put those opportunities in, if you believe in God and stuff like that. He's gonna put those opportunities in front of you, and then you just gotta take them. Right? Any more questions or anything like that?
I got one last one.
Hey, bro, I'm loving it.
And talking about what was just said, right? For both of y'all, was there like any doubt throughout your journey anywhere? And was there like a certain feeling that y'all had that which caused like a big mistake and a big setback for y'all? And something like could have regret from it, or wasn't there like certain thing that helped you like see the brighter side of things and see what you can probably do from there and see how you can do better from it?
Yeah, I guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So doubt is definitely gonna creep in your mind, right? But then, like I said, when you keep speaking itself into existence, it's like you train your mind not to really like think about stuff, right? Like we was talking about basketball, right? You don't just go in front of the hoop and you just can shoot. Yeah, I mean you gotta train that muscle memory. So that's also your brain is a muscle too as well, right? You get these grooves in your brain every time you learn something new called neuroplasticity, right? So you have to keep training your mind, like, oh no, I'm good, I am. And the reason why I say I am, most powerful words, because in the Bible, that's how, God introduces himself. He said, I am. And he's like, what's I am? But those words that come after are what's really important. So continue to just ingrain those things into my mind, keep saying it, keep doing and stuff like that is what kind of pushed me through. And as far as the bright side, another thing I always thought about too as well, like, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to eat because I only ate breakfast and lunch. That's what we had at school. But then weekends, I had to go to my cousin's house, try to figure out we can get something to eat because we really had nothing to eat at my dad's house. But when I went there though, right, I always think, you know what, it's probably someone out there that has it worse, right? Like, yeah, I didn't eat my dad till I was 7. Yeah, he would kick me out. I would try to stay with my mom. My mom didn't want me to live with her and her girlfriend. So yeah, I had a lot of stuff that I had to do, but I always think, you know what, there's probably somebody out there that got it 10 times worse. You know what I mean? They got it like a million times worse. And I always think like, this is just the beginning. This is just my story. But me having this story is what allows me to connect with people that, I'm not saying you may be going through those things, but you may be going through something similar. That's what's able for me to connect with those different types of people because it's like I've been through those things. So I always think, somebody out there has it worse, so let me just try to, make it better for me.
I know we got to wrap up. I'll just go ahead and piggyback where you said. Everybody's story is different. Like I've known Carlos for a while now, and just looking at his content, I didn't know certain things about his life. You know what I mean? So you don't know what someone next to you is going to, and you can't compare yourself to anybody's journey. Like me, boom, I ain't grow up with my dad. Carlos, y'all hear his story and his upbringing, but look at where he's at now. Don't let your situation define who you're going to become. Don't let the cards you're dealt determine how you're going to play the game. Take those cards, come up with a good strategy. We're doing goal setting. If you have a plan, don't just have a plan. Write it down, structure it out. You guys know about ChatGPT?
Yeah.
That's what I say, y'all in the greatest society right now. Listen, don't let it just be your only thing you go to, but let it be your resource. Let it be your assistant. We're literally living in the greatest generation right now where you can really, if you have an idea about something, you can put it into ChatGPT. I use it every day, especially with my businesses. I'll say, hey, I'll actually import my schedule into ChatGPT. Help me find some time in my schedule to be more efficient. Like literally little stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you have a dream or goal for starting that HVAC business, write down, say, hey, you in high school? What grade you in?
Senior.
You're a senior, right? So, hey, I'm in my senior year. I plan on being an HVAC tech, whatever year you want to do it. Literally say, hey, help me build my 5-year plan to start my business and make it successful. I've done that. I do it with my team in real estate. Let me do our business planning. Bro, even though it may seem simple, just having it on paper and looking at it and just being able to go check off things will really change the trajectory and actually put into action those dreams. Because we could talk about stuff all day, but if you don't take an actionable step to do it, you'll never get there. So, yeah.
So I think that's pretty much wrap everything up. We got
I appreciate y'all. Yo, seriously. If y'all ever have, this isn't just this event. I'm on social media at 302 Breeze. If any of y'all have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If I can help anybody in any endeavors or just offer some advice, that's what I'm here for. I don't have no little brothers, but I'll be a big brother to any of y'all.
15 brothers and sisters.
You got 15? You used to it. You got the experience.